Do you recommend any leadership skills or cybersecurity in your professional, or or is it better just having the technical skills? I know we pretty much had that category right now, but do you think that having some leadership skills would be good to have? Makes you unique too, as well. Is there anything
Yeah,
different?
yeah, for sure. Of course, not all, everyone out there wants to be a leader or having some leadership skills. But I believe that if you want to grow, even as a technical person, you gotta have some leadership skills, because when it comes to a true security incident, a true positive, and you have to respond to it, and if you're the most experienced person, the experienced cybersecurity engineer or incident responder, you gotta
Mhm.
have some leadership skills. Uh, and there are some skills that are important when you want to become a leader. A few of them is like take responsibility, right? If you want to be a leader, you have to take responsibility. You're leading a team. So
Mhm.
whenever you're leading a team, you are responsible for that team, right?
Okay. Okay.
Making sure that you take ownership of everything that happens within your team. And know also, a leader should know how to prioritize. There are going to be situations or tough decisions that are going to have to be made, where a decision has to be made, and you have to prioritize based on that decision. You can't do everything at the same time. You can do everything, but you cannot do, it's impossible to do everything at the same time. So that's why you have to prioritize. There's that rule, the 80-20 rule, right? Where you do 80% of things that you got to do that gives in 20% of the time. So you're
Okay.
making sure that you do the most, everything you can at the lowest amount of time. Okay.
Okay.
And when
Okay.
you're a leader, you have to be able to communicate well, because when you need something to get it done, or you need, because of if there is a mandate or if there is a need to do that right at that moment, you have to communicate it well and be clear with your team. Being clear helps you to achieve your goals and also helps your team to be successful. Uh, and one of those situations is when you're leading by example, right? And you're
Mhm.
leading by example. If you're able to, everything you preach, you do within your life, then people are going to start to see those things, and then they will say, okay, he's a good leader because he tells me to do one thing, and when there is a similar situation and he needs to do something, he also does that way. So he actually is leading by example. As a leader, you cannot take everything on you. You can't do everything for your team. You have
Mhm.
to decentralize your command, meaning that you have to rely on other people to achieve your goal as a business. You have to make sure that you get some help from other people within your team, so you are able to decentralize that and not getting everything to you and you own everything. You may own the full extent of the process, but there will be parts of where you will have to decentralize your command. In other words, you have to delegate some of those tasks and responsibilities.
Okay.
And
Okay.
one of the things that I would say that's the most important one, it would be learn from your mistakes. You will make mistakes, absolutely, but you have to learn from those mistakes, right? For
Yes.
when you make a mistake, you have to assess your mistake, see what can be done to mitigate or to fix that mistake, create a plan to mitigate that mistake. And the most important thing is execution, right? When we talk about execution, means that you're actually doing something to make it happen. Anyone can talk, anyone can say that they do something, But when it comes to execution, that's the most important thing. That's where you will see that the difference between someone who only says what they do compared to someone who says and execute on everything they say. So
Mm,
that would be like my take on it.
okay, okay. So that definitely the execution is one of the biggest parts for anything.
Yes, it is. Not only executing for yourself, but also executing for your team and for the organization that you work for.
Okay. So in that perspective, how would you approach that? Like, I know as a CISO, it can be a little bit frustrating, it can be a little bit complicated, things like that. What would be your thought process of this? Like, like where what would be your thought process of starting the phase and how would you transition to that? So to the execution.
Well, one of the points of leadership, communication, right? Communicate it well.
Mhm.
Make sure that uh, you lay all of the goals and the tasks to everyone. Make sure that you decentralize your command. In other words, delegate those tasks and ensure that people are taking ownership of those tasks and responsibilities. So whenever there is a failure, that person should take responsibility of that failure, take ownership of it. But how is he or she going to turn that self over to something that it should be get it done? Meaning that how can you get out of a failed execution and turn that into a successful execution? What's the plan? When you're
Mhm.
going to do it? What you need to execute that plan and to be successful? Uh, that's one of the things that whenever you have a team, you have to communicate it well down the chain, but also you have to really understand the business goals that you were trying to put it out there. And if things change, it change. Uh, let's just deal with it. Nothing in life is steady. There will be ups and downs.
Mhm.
And at the end of the day, and how you deal with those ups and downs, it's how it will help your career path to either be successful or not, and we in everything you do in life.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So yeah, I can see it. I can see definitely things going up and down in life, and I believe like especially in IT is one of the common things. Like it's gonna work perfectly fine, and I know where something just goes down. It's a common
Exactly.
thing, and I can
Hmm.
see that security going on too. So yeah, I can see that going on in this implementation and everything. Um, do you think there's a lot of up in the I mean a lot of things that you has to be changed around during the process, or is there stuff that what the CEO just comes in and like, hey, we need to change this? Does this happen constantly with you guys or no?
Well, it all depends on the leader and it all depends on where the organization is moving towards to, right?
Okay.
Having a 1, 3, and 5 year plan helps you to steer your security program or steer your execution
Mm,
towards the organization's goal. The 1 year plan should not have a lot of changes, mainly because it is in 1 year, right? So you should be assertive whenever you create your 1 year plan. On the 3 year plan, there is room for improvements. There is room for changes, mainly because it is a 3 year plan. So there will be changes because the threat landscape out there changes every day. New technologies are coming in with the addition of AI. AI is growing rapidly. It is becoming uh, one of the most interesting things that are out there. So you have to understand AI as well. So a 3 year plan will have changes for sure. And the 5 year plan, it's also something that you have to keep in mind that it will change. It
there
may
will be
change
some
every
changes.
year. There will be
Yeah.
some changes. But I would say for the 1 year plan, should not have many changes.
Almost.
Should be like pretty accurate
Okay.
because you don't have a lot of time to steer that ship to where you want to steer to, because you may be
Mhm.
in the middle of the project and the requirements that are changing or possibly changing are going to be difficult to be met in a
Mhm.
short period of time. So being accurate on your 1 year will take you to this path of success to your 3 year plan and to your 5 year plan.
That makes sense. I never thought about it like that. I'm still like
Yeah.
new to this, like the organization outfield and everything. So this is interesting to me, even from my perspective. I didn't never thought about there was like a I thought about a 1 year plan. I just never thought there was gonna be like a 3 year, 5 year, or etc. But that's
Hmm.
pretty awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What do you, I know you were talking about AI right now. What do you think? This is off the subjects too, so this is not part of the question. But my question would be like, what do you think about the AI? You think it's gonna be a help for cybersecurity, or you think it's gonna be more against it, or how would you see that in the future? I know
Uh,
everything's so
it,
fresh. I
yeah.
know everything's so fresh. We can't give an accurate answer, but in your opinion,
It's gonna take both sides of the coin, right? So it will be used for the good, but it will also be used for the bad. Um, but as an organization, you have to think on how AI will help you to be more productive,
mm-hmm.
how AI will help your employees to be more productive, and how AI will help the clients of your organization to be more productive as well. But you have to think about security when it comes to AI, implement policies, implement labels, have a very tight access control, uh, which will help you to achieve AI as you might want as of today. There's a lot going on around AI. There are a lot of products out there. We all know about ChatGPT, Gemini,
Mm-hmm.
Copilot. Um, there will be one AI product that will help you to achieve
Okay.
your goals. So it's going to take time. I think AI it has a similar path as cloud had in the past,
Okay.
mainly because a lot of people are skeptical still,
Yeah.
but some want to be at the cutting edge of the technology.
Uh,
So at the end of the day, I believe that AI will be helpful, and for those who are listening to this, use AI to your benefit.
okay.
Understand how it works and use it to help you to be more productive. Don't rely on it, but use to augment your knowledge, use to augment your experience, and to be more effective in your job. Um, AI can replace people, but if you know how to work with it, you will probably not be replaceable. So,
Okay. Good to
yeah.
know. Good to know about that. I never thought about that, but that is a good thought about it. Cause yeah, that would be a good way. That would be another niche right there for cybersecurity, just to get the experience of AIs and understand how the aspects works and everything. That's a pretty good point of view. I never thought about that. But
Yeah.
I did have a thought that maybe AI might replace some programmers, some roles, some different roles. That all depends on what you're looking for. But yeah, I can see AI trying to take over some things.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, we're just going back to the question. So um, after all this stuff, what is it? What would you expect from somebody, or what if you're in the hiring process?